Hi, I'm Lance with Ultimate Canine, and today we're going to talk about harnesses. There are many types of harnesses you can get for your dog. You have a harness like this, which is just a patrol harness for protection work. And this is also a patrol harness. And this is used for protection work, tracking, a whole bunch of different uses. So we deal with lots of pets. Not a lot of working dogs. We do deal with some working dogs, but it's on a case-by-case basis. But for pets, harnesses are a whole different ball of wax. And the reason that I have these harnesses here for this video is, why does your pet need a harness? Why does your dog need a harness? A lot of people have harnesses because there is information about trachea damage from leashes and too much leash pressure, leash and collar pressure, and things of that nature, but it is very, very rare, okay? A dog's neck is not like our neck. A dog's neck, if you think about it, our neck is just to pivot our head around so we can look for things to scavenge and eat and collect data, okay? Our necks aren't really made to be super, super strong. I myself don't have a very big neck. But a dog's neck is made to hold an animal that is equal to their weight while their jaws kill that animal. Their neck is on a completely different plane than ours. It's so powerful in most dogs. Yes, there are some breeds where their necks are a little smaller, but for most dogs, they don't really use a harness for that. So to put a harness on like most types of dogs, like poodles or labs or all those things, it is teaching the dog to pull, okay? Harnesses are meant to create pulling. Like this D ring, or this ring on this harness is here. And then there's a handle for the handler here. It's meant to cause pressure on the dog so the dog pulls against pressure. Pressure creates pressure, right? If somebody grabs your arm, the first thing you do is pull away. If you put pressure on a dog with a leash, especially in the most powerful point on their back, they are going to pull with extreme power. So you're teaching your dog to pull, not to walk with you nicely. And there are some harnesses out there that are called easy walk harnesses. And most of these harnesses have a ring in the front. So when it pulls around, it pulls the dog's shoulder in a place that's uncomfortable. But the problem with those harnesses are this. If you were to walk and you were to turn your hip in like this and walk like that for long periods of time, it's not natural, so what it's going to do is it's going to cause damage to your shoulder. I have one veterinarian that refers me out solely because I don't promote those harnesses because they're tired of doing shoulder surgeries for easy walk harnesses. Halties. Halties are very similar. They put the dog pulls until their neck is at pressure like this. And after hours and hours and hours of putting just enough pressure so it's uncomfortable, the dog's neck becomes compromised. But back to harnesses. Harnesses teach a dog to pull. So when you see a sled dog that's pulling people through the Arctic, they all have harnesses on because they can generate the most power to pull you. So harnesses for pets are just kind of a band-aid because you don't know how to teach your dog how to walk correctly. Walking correctly is you walking the dog and the dog walking with you. If the dog is out in front of you, peeing on everything, sniffing everything, blah, 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 the dog is in charge of the walk, right? With a harness, they have all the power to pull you harder into that behavior, and after habituation sets in, the dog is just going to continue to pull you harder and harder and harder. It's going to be harder and harder to fix. So with a harness too, with this ring in the back or somewhere back here between the shoulder blades and back, typically where the ring is, you cannot steer the dog, you cannot guide the dog because there's no pivot point. When there's a leash around the dog's neck, you can steer the dog, you can guide the dog, you can lead the dog. Okay? Now, if you're struggling to teach a dog to walk correctly, that's time to say, hey, maybe I don't know how to fix this, I should hire a professional, and then you have to go down that whole rabbit hole, and we have a video on that as well. So, harnesses for pets are not great. The reason that they're very popular now is because the pet industries like wow, I can sell a harness for $40 to $100 when a flat collar's 10 to 15 bucks. So it's all about, in the grand scheme of things, making money. They want to make money by selling you something you don't need. A couple more points is this harness. It has way more chafing points than a flat collar. Look at all these points. If it's not fit correctly, that can chafe. And heat builds up under a harness too, which is really bad, especially in the summer. It's going to make your dog get really hot, and if your dog isn't properly treated for parasites, fleas, ticks, those things, they're going to get up under here, and they're going to find a hot, warm place to get into your dog. And speaking of hot, warm places, when it's hot and warm in here, hot spots can occur very, very easily, especially for a dog that's not groomed correctly, because there's moisture, there's pressure, and there's heat, which can cause hot spots, which is pressure necrosis at its finest. So I do not recommend harnesses unless your dog has a task or a job that they need to do. That's only time that you should use a harness. Very seldom. These harnesses are only on my dog for protection work and to teach principles of protection work. Otherwise, my dogs don't ever have a harness on. I don't even use a harness for tracking. A lot of people do. I do not, because if the dog is tracking correctly, it should be a loose leash anyway. So those are my thoughts, my input, my information on harnesses, and why you should not use them. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.